BlackRock just validated HBAR, and nobody's talking about it. While the rest of the crypto world is busy obsessing over memecoins, chasing hype cycles, and recycling the same tired narratives, something far more significant just happened. And barely anyone noticed. No headlines, no viral threads, no influencers screaming bullish on livestream. But in the shadows of institutional finance, a quiet signal just went off. BlackRock, the $10 trillion behemoth that doesn't move without purpose, is now circling the rails Hedera has been building for years. No need for flashy announcements or promotional stunts. BlackRock's moves are intentional, strategic, and rooted in control, not clout. This isn't speculation. This is alignment with a network that isn't here to entertain, but to transform. Hedera's not just another blockchain. It's the infrastructure layer for a new kind of financial system, one that's fast, secure, sustainable, and ready to scale globally. And if you're an HBAR holder, this isn't just good news. It's a seismic shift that could define the next decade. Because BlackRock doesn't bet on dreams. They bet on systems that work. They bet on technology that integrates seamlessly into the existing global machine. And right now, their eyes and capital are moving toward exactly what Hedera offers. So here's the truth. If you're still looking for that mythical mass adoption event, you're looking in the wrong place. Mass adoption doesn't come with fireworks. It comes quietly through contracts, integrations, backroom meetings, and global infrastructure decisions, the kind that never trend on social media. This is one of those moments. And if you're not paying attention now, you'll be playing catch-up later. So the choice is yours. Do you want to be on the front line of the shift, or reading about it in hindsight? Because when BlackRock starts building on what Hedera's been perfecting, it's not just a win for HBAR holders. It's a warning shot to the rest of the crypto market. Stay locked in. What comes next could change everything. They didn't need a headline. They didn't need a press conference or a media blitz. Because when BlackRock, the $10 trillion titan that dictates the flow of global capital, makes a move, they don't announce it with fireworks. They do it in whispers, in white papers, in regulatory filings, and behind the closed doors of financial institutions where the next era is already being quietly drafted. They move markets with a whisper, not a roar. And make no mistake, they've made their move. While Twitter argues about meme coins and influencers chase engagement, the real transformation, the one that will reshape global finance, is already underway. It's happening in the background, where retail eyes rarely look. In the tokenization pilots of private wealth firms. In the settlement protocols of Tier 1 banks. In digital identity and compliance networks that are replacing outdated infrastructure. And in the middle of all that, Hedera Hashgraph. BlackRock isn't experimenting here. They're not trying crypto the way your average fintech startup might. They are allocating, testing, and positioning themselves within the rails of an entirely new financial system. And they're choosing technology built for the realities of that system. They're choosing speed without compromise, finality without forks, tokenization at scale without breaking compliance. That's not Ethereum. That's not Solana. That's Hedera Hashgraph, an enterprise-grade DLT that's been built from the start for institutions, for regulation, and for permanence. The signals are everywhere if you know where to look. The Aberdeen Fund tokenized on Hedera. HSBC, one of the largest banking institutions, collaborating on asset tokenization. Hedera's HTS, token service, quietly powering real-world asset transfers with near-zero energy cost and immediate finality. These aren't coincidences. These are breadcrumbs, the kind BlackRock follows when it's charting its next trillion-dollar play. Because BlackRock doesn't want volatility. They don't want another altcoin casino. They want a chain that can pass audits, handle compliance, move at the speed of money, and scale globally without breaking. They want Hedera. This is what most people miss. HBAR isn't trying to be next. It's trying to be first where it matters, in law, in finance, in government, in enterprise. And while most of the market is busy chasing distractions, Hedera is building the infrastructure that Wall Street, central banks, and institutional finance are already adopting. That's why every HBR holder needs to wake up right now. This isn't about being early to a meme coin pump. It's about being positioned at the foundation of the new financial operating system, before the rest of the world realizes it's already being deployed. And if you're paying attention, you'll understand this. HBAR isn't just a strong bet anymore. It's becoming the backbone of the system that Blackrock and others are already preparing to rule. The silent infiltration of institutional capital. This isn't a coincidence. Blackrock, the most powerful asset manager in the world, with over $10 trillion under management, didn't just discover Hedera. It didn't wander in out of curiosity. No, this is a surgical move, planned and executed with the precision of a Wall Street algorithm. And the signs have been there, if you've been paying attention. While the rest of the crypto market was chasing hype cycles, debating Ethereum gas fees, speculating on which meme coin would pump next, aping into layer ones with flashy marketing but zero institutional frameworks, Hedera was building, quietly, relentlessly, intentionally, not for traders, not for influencers, not even for the average crypto user. Hedera was being shaped for the big players, the ones who move markets, who set policy, who don't blink unless $1 billion is on the table. Because here's the truth. Institutions don't care about DeFi food farms or 10,000% APYs. They care about compliance. They care about finality. They care about governance, speed, and energy efficiency. They care about systems that are stable, scalable, and secure. And slowly, subtly, one by one, the doors began to open. A burden, a UK-based investment giant managing over $500 billion, didn't experiment on Ethereum. It chose Hedera to tokenize its money market funds, an asset class historically considered ultra-conservative, now entering the on-chain world. HSBC, a global banking behemoth with over $3 trillion in assets, didn't turn to Solana or Avalanche. Its DLT pilot for real-world finance? Hedera, the UK government exploring the future of carbon markets, ran trials with just one DLT network. You guessed it, Hedera. Why? Because while other blockchains were obsessed with building communities, Hedera was obsessed with building credibility. And now the payoff begins. These aren't partnerships, in the way crypto Twitter uses the word. These are use cases, pilots, and proof-of-concept deals with billion-dollar implications, quiet steps toward a new financial architecture being constructed in real time, brick by brick, far from the noise of the public stage. So now we ask the real question. What kind of blockchain does Blackrock need to tokenize the entire financial system? It's not Ethereum, bloated, expensive, slow. It's not Bitcoin, brilliant but inflexible. It's not Solana, volatile, centralized, and outage-prone. BlackRock needs infrastructure that mirrors the real-world financial rails it already commands. It needs a network that doesn't just support tokenization, it was built for it. It needs Hedera, because the new financial system isn't going to be built on dreams and white papers. It's going to be built on enterprise-grade architecture, proof-of-stake sustainability, fixed, predictable low fees, regulatory alignment, real governance by real companies, Google, Boeing, IBM, Dell, Standard Bank. In other words, the exact foundation Hedera has been quietly refining for years. This isn't a race for who's loudest. It's a race for who's ready. And HBAR is more than ready. Because in a world shifting toward digital trust, Hedera doesn't follow the rules, it sets them. The shift from speculation to infrastructure. Crypto has always had two faces. On one side, the noise, meme coins, pump groups, overhyped airdrops, influencers chasing virality. A revolving door of speculation where tokens skyrocket today and crash tomorrow, built not on fundamentals but on frenzy. On the other side, the narrative quietly reshaping the future of finance. While retail investors chase the next 100x coin, institutional players, banks, asset managers, governments are moving with deliberate focus. They aren't here for hype. They aren't gambling on vaporware. They are building the new digital infrastructure beneath the surface. And Hedera Hashgraph is where they're laying the foundation. Why? Because when you're managing trillions in assets, volatility isn't a feature. It's a risk. When you're subject to regulators, compliance standards, ESG mandates, and the unforgiving scrutiny of the public and shareholders, you can't afford to bet on blockchains that glitch, fork, or grind to a halt when traffic spikes. You need performance. You need predictability. You need Hedera. Finality in 3 to 5 seconds. energy efficiency that outclasses Bitcoin by over 5 million times, a consensus model that doesn't fork or fail, and governance secured not by anonymous validators, but by a council of global titans, Google, IBM, Dell, LG, Boeing, and more. This isn't another next-gen blockchain. This is a Layer 0 protocol purpose-built for global scale. And the institutions know it. BlackRock knows it. When the largest asset manager on the planet signals, even subtly, interest in distributed ledgers that meet their standards for speed, security, regulatory readiness, and ESG compliance, it's not a coincidence. It's a map. And if BlackRock is mapping a route into tokenized finance, you better pay attention to the rails they'll use. Because by the time it becomes obvious, by the time the headlines read, BlackRock integrates tokenization with Hedera, the positioning phase will be over. The back doors will be locked. The accumulation will be complete. And the price will be a reflection of real demand, not just crypto hype. So while everyone else is stuck in speculation, you have the rare chance to position in infrastructure. HBAR is not just a coin. It's a strategic asset embedded in the next financial operating system. And as the world shifts, slowly, silently, toward that new system, Hedera isn't waiting for permission. It's already running the pilot, block by block, partner by partner, institution by institution. The only question left is, will you be ahead of the wave or drowning in its wake? The clock is ticking, and most won't notice. By the time a headline screams, BlackRock launches tokenized fund on Hedera, the game will already be over for most, because that moment won't signal the beginning. It will be the public confirmation of a silent revolution that's already been unfolding in the background. The infrastructure, already running stress-tested pilots behind closed doors. The partnerships, already inked under NDAs and quiet MOUs. The capital, already being reallocated slowly, surgically, and strategically. While the average investor chases volatility on Twitter, Discord, and TikTok, watching meme coins pump and crash, the real evolution of global finance is happening in a place most retail minds never think to look: behind the curtain. Inside legal filings, between the lines of ESG frameworks, in sustainability white papers, at closed-door meetings with compliance teams and global regulators. This isn't just a shift in technology. It's a shift in power. It's the gradual replacement of brittle legacy systems with distributed ledgers designed for resilience, auditability, and scale, not speculation. It's not being marketed with celebrity endorsements or Super Bowl ads, because the people building it don't need hype. They need certainty, and Hedera Hashgraph is delivering that certainty. Ask yourself, when was the last time you saw a meme coin cited in official government climate reports? Or integrated into the operational stack of major central banks? Or selected as the preferred ledger by multinational institutions managing trillions? You haven't, because that's not what those coins are for. But Hedera? It's not a project begging for attention. It's a platform quietly absorbing it, from the institutions shaping the infrastructure of tomorrow. Here's the truth. The people with the most to gain from this shift are already here. They're not waiting for public announcements to tell them what to buy. They're already positioning, already funding, already building. And once those headlines finally break, the rest of the world will rush in, only to find the most strategic positions already taken. The window for silent accumulation is closing fast. The difference between those who watch the future unfold and those who build wealth within it will be determined by what you do before the crowd catches on. This isn't just about HBAR. It's about recognizing when history is being written in whispers and having the clarity to listen. The smart money already has. Will you? Here's the unfiltered truth. This isn't some far-off theory or speculative dream. This is the quiet reality unfolding beneath the surface, a what-now moment disguised as business as usual. By the time institutions like BlackRock go public with announcements, they're not starting the race, they're crossing the finish line. The infrastructure has already been tested, the regulatory groundwork already navigated, the capital already deployed. What the public sees is always the tip of the iceberg. The real moves are made long before the headlines ever break. So while retail investors scroll through noise, jump on trending tokens, and chase meme-fueled pumps. The real shift in global finance is already underway, and Hedera is positioned at the heart of it. This is your signal, loud and clear. Not to FOMO in, not to chase hype, but to prepare, to educate yourself, to allocate intelligently, to move before the crowd, not with it. Because if you're waiting for the news to validate your decisions, you're already late. But if you're paying attention now, when it's still quiet, you have the opportunity to be part of the foundation, not just the aftermath. So don't just watch this space. Own it. Understand it. Stake your ground in it. Read the white papers. Follow the council moves. Watch the tokenization pilots. Stack what matters. Build conviction through knowledge, not noise. Because when Blackrock makes its next public move, when the press releases drop and the talking heads start reacting, you'll be in one of two positions, either scrambling to catch up or already positioned, calm, confident, and quietly ahead. The window is open now. The decision is yours.